not a game, it's a rich thing.
What's up, y'all? This is Tasha. Thank you so much for stopping into my channel. We are back with a Married at First Sight review, season 15, episode I Don't Know. It's decision day. That's all we need to know at this point, you guys. Do not forget to hit the thumbs up button, comment in the comment section below, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. Y'all, I don't even have a lot of notes. I kept checking in and out of this episode because I mean, at this point, we've watched, 15 weeks of this show and stop replaying the same mess over and over and over again and just get to the decisions of what these couple has to say. We know it's going to be BS already. We will really see what happens after we get 2 parts of the reunion. Why we need 2 parts, I don't know. Like, Lifetime and Married at First Sight, y'all know how to stretch out some advertising dollars, okay? If you don't know how to do nothing else, you can stretch out these advertisement dollars because y'all then already letting us know the new season is coming in January. 2-month hiatus from this show, y'all, I'm going to really have to pray about it and talk to Jesus about it on if I'm going to not only review this show the next season or even watch this show the next season. It's rather exhausting, but I digress. Let's talk about decision day because that's what we are here for, y'all. So Justin, the episode opens with Justin telling us the past 8 weeks have been a complete roller coaster. Stasha says she tossed and turned all night. And, this is not how she thought she would feel the night before decision day. Miguel says he's most nervous about the intensity, and Lindy says that she doesn't know what Miguel is thinking. Alexis says, going back and forth is new to her because she is really decisive when it comes to her decision making. And basically, Mitch and Nate are both in their head about everything. Kristen says she will follow her gut that has kept her alive for 32 years. I say, all right, girl, let's see if your gut is smart or dumb at this point. Let's get this show started. So Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper meet and they talk to discuss Stasha and Nate as they're the first couple up. And basically, again, it sounds like they're placing the blame on Nate and his mommy issues and how, he reacted. Have y'all watched the show? Have y'all seen the way Stasha has basically pressured this man to think the way she thinks and say, I love you? Like, are y'all engaged? Like, what is happening at this point? Y'all don't know what it is that's happening. You don't see what we see on this TV screen. So anyway, we see flashback of their wedding, all their steamy moments that we really did not need to see again. Stasha narrates how much she cared for him, and then things go south, as we know, when they start running into problems towards the end of the season, blah, blah, blah. Stasha, we know you perfect. You're the mature one. Nate is the one with the problem, okay? We then see the same package from Nate. Stasha embodies everything he's ever wanted in a wife. He loves when people stare at them when they're together. Again, the optics of it all for these two. They're a power couple, but executive Stasha is never satisfied. And he questions if she would ever relinquish control. And he doesn't want to spend the rest of his life proving to her that he is actually good enough. Well, get ready for that, Nate, okay? So time for the decision. Nate shows up, flowers in his hand, and his little gray suit with his fresh plaits in his head. Child, this is the most grown up I've ever seen Nate at this point. Dr. Pepper says, they had admired their relationship, but, heard that they had issues in the most recent times. Dr. Pepper asks Stasha, what she is wrestling with, and she says, I have a list. Don't worry, I have a list because that's what I do. So she starts listing out all these things that include disrespect, anger, mommy issues, etc. Girl, you just had to stick the knife in one more time and just twist it one more time before exiting stage left. She feels like he is starting to view her in the similar light as his mom, and she really doesn't feel like he gives her enough credit. And when she said that, I said, what? He don't give you enough credit? Girl. The way this man is in the negative with you and the amount of credit you don't give him, listen to your own words, girl. Just listen. She starts to cry because she says that she is hurt and she thought that because Nate thought that she would leave her children and be out partying because, he kind of mentioned that on a couple episodes before. Girl, suck it up. Nate says, he is triggered more easily because he really doesn't know how to deal with the stress and the pressure of everything that was going on. Stasha says that, she's going through a lot as well, but, I just don't react the way that he does. Okay, Stasha, once again, acting like you're just so much better and so much more mature than him. Girl, you cannot control people's reactions and emotions. Get over it, not even your husband's. Nate says she needs work to become some things. Sometimes the things that she says can be really cold and condescending. Of course, Pastor Cal tells them, oh, that is normal. That's marriage. No, her trying to really control the way he behaves and what he says and how he feels is not normal, Pastor Cal. That's not normal. So they talk about the positives, and Nate said, when filling out the 200 questionnaire for the show, he wanted all these things, and he is really grateful because basically he kind of felt insecure, but now he's basically proud that Stasha is his wife. She says that they had a lot of good times, and it's easy that he's easy to get along with. He's very driven. She loves that he really tries to come back and approach her when things get a little bit heated. And I was like, but Stasha, you don't. Like, you're saying these things, but the lie detector test says that is a lie, honey. Y'all just had this argument at the winery a couple episodes ago, and then you asking him, are he using the tools the experts gave him? Nate told you at that time, like, he didn't use it in the moment, but then he came back like an hour later and used the tools, and that was not good enough for you, Stasha. That was not good enough for you. So make it make sense. Pick one and stick with it, okay? Because right now you contradicting yourself all over the place. Anyways, on to the decisions. Nate tells her that, he did a pros and cons list. The pros far outweigh the cons, so he says yes. Stasha tells him that she didn't sleep all night and she fully examined everything, and she wasn't hopeful that they would really have a chance to overcome everything. Insert dramatics and commercial break. She decides to say committed to him, so they both say yes because she said she wouldn't run. Is it just me, or did they really not even look 100% happy after they both said yes? Like, maybe it's just because I'm sick of them. I don't know. But I was like, we look like we're just going through the motions here, people. Okay. Nate says that, single Nate is a quitter and married Nate is not. And this makes Stasha, this makes her teary-eyed when he says that. And I was like, why does that make you emotional? Why? The bar is set in hell for some of these men, child. Anyway, next up is Alexis and Justin. We already know how this should end, and by the end of the episode, we get our answer, okay? So Dr. Pepper is concerned with Justin being overly emotional, and again, they're focusing on one person's behavior while just completely ignoring the terrible behavior of the other person that's in this relationship, i.e. Alexis and i.e. Stasha before. They talk about why they matched them. Let's be honest, they matched y'all because y'all both tall. Anyway, Alexis, if she's not going to do nothing else, she is going to show up and serve us body, makeup, and hair, okay? The braids, you can tell they were starting to look a little rough. She tried to do this little swoop bun action and just, freshen up the braids in the front. But girl, we could tell that new growth was coming through. But it's okay. We're going to let you slide because it's been a long 15 weeks, okay? But she comes through in this gorgeous chocolate skin tone dress that is hugging every curve that her body has to offer, honey. And I'm here for it. I love to see it because you got a stank attitude, but keep serving body, okay? Keep serving body because you got that on lock, girl. We get a replay of their past 8 weeks and how Alexis was basically waiting for the hard. I guess she kept, marriage is, it's supposed to be hard, but where is the hard? And then it got hard because she said that he was inconsistent and super emotional. Justin says, she's just so bubbly and charming. And then things basically got ugly when Newton got shanked by Maya, okay? He said that Alexis was really selfish for letting him give away his dog without being sure on their marriage. Now, Justin, this whole conversation about you being in your head, now, I don't know if this is a conversation that you and Alexis had, but she's not acting like it is. So I'm assuming this may be a conversation that you've had in your head of, if I give up the dog, she will say yes. But she didn't necessarily verbalize that that was going to be the case. She told you that it was going to be her or the dog. At that point, it was up to you to make whatever decision. And once you've made whatever decision, you have no one to blame but yourself. She didn't force you. You have no one to blame but yourself. So Alexis says that she knows what she's going to say. She isn't going to think no more about it. Just basically let it do what it do. Justin says he realized that he lived in his head a lot, and he probably would not have recognized that without her. So, of course, I learned a lot with you, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Pastor Cal has to ask about intimacy because that's all Pastor Cal is concerned about with these couples. Alexis says they have work to do. Justin was like, it's been fun. And Alexis is just like, we have work to do. And Pastor Cal, his nosy self, he wants to know the details. And I'm like, can you please mind your business? And Alexis continues to say, we have work to do. So, girl, I guess she's still talking about him maybe working up his thrusting and his stamina that she complained about a few episodes ago. Too much information for us, basically. They talk about the dogs, and Alexis said, that she wasn't okay with it once he continued to throw it in her face. And again, he told her that he thought that meant a yes for their marriage. And she says, I don't agree. Justin goes first with his decision. He says yes. And Alexis' face completely says it all. Like, why couldn't you say no? Because then that would make you look like the asshole and not me. Like, that's exactly what her face read to me of, dang it. I wanted to look like I wanted to still work on this. And I wanted you to be the one to say, no, let's go our separate ways. Alexis then reads this letter, and I don't care what the letter says because we know she's just doing all this for stunts and giggles when she does not really like this man. But she says yes, with the caveat that this yes isn't forever, but this yes is for the right now and the time that, they can still continue to spend with one another. What is that? What is that? Girl, you just should have said, no, get off my TV with these box braids, child. So next up is Lindy and Miguel. Again, they talk about Miguel, wondering who was going to show up, and just dismissing or acting like Lindy's terrible behavior was just a figment of our imagination, child. I just don't get it at this point. I don't care about their recap at all because we know this whole season they basically fronted up until the very last week. We know when it comes to them sitting down in front of the experts to make this decision, they are going to front. So I don't really care, okay? Miguel and Lindy, they both show up, obviously matching, looking like they're about to go to somebody's Christmas party, okay? Again, they go through the whole package with them. I don't pay attention. Because they're both going to say yes and pull a Jose and Rachel and said they just love each other so much. So I'm like, so this is going to be a repeat of last season at this point. Everybody's just going to say yes, and then by reunion, nobody's going to be together. Is that what we're doing? So lastly is Kristen and Mitch, and all I could do was take me a deep breath, child, to make it through the decision of these two. So we don't care about their backstory either. We have watched all 15 weeks of this madness. We don't need to spend the time recapping it. Mitch comes out. He looks the cleanest we've ever seen him. Here comes Kristen out in her little Fashion Over dress, child. Lets us know that, a little bug flew in her mouth. Just a little extra protein. Mitch is here for it. It's okay. So then it's time for them to make their decisions. Mitch says he wasn't sure until the night before, but she has really helped him grow so much. But he knows really she deserves and wants much more than he can provide. She deserves someone that is 100% head over heels with her. And basically the level of commitment that she wants and desires is less than he can give. So he says no. Thank you, Mitch, for being the first real person on this episode once we are, 45, 50 minutes in, to actually be completely honest with yourself and honest with your partner. Bravo. Thank you, Mitch. Okay. Kristen basically says that, she couldn't have said it any better. He said everything and she would say the same thing. And she is choosing herself and she wants a divorce as well. Finally, we have a couple that is not BSing our way through this. I appreciate the two of them so much in this moment. Like, I was like, thank you so much. Mitch, this is probably the one time I was like 1,000% on your side throughout this entire season, child. Kristen says, there could be future potential. And I was like, future potential when? You said you want kids. Isn't she in her mid-30s? Isn't Mitch over his 40s? Where is the potential and what is happening and when? So Pastor Cal, as they're walking away, he says he doesn't understand this. You know, the divorce, them leaving, it was so amicable. And I said, yet again, have you not watched the season? Y'all claim y'all get updates, but it's making it very hard to believe that y'all know what's going on when you act like you're baffled at Kristen and Mitch not staying together. Because I'm sure the rest of us that watch the show every week was not shocked. I'm sure we were not shocked that they chose not to stay together. So Alexis and Justin, they're talking pretty much right after they've made their decision. And she says, you know, I said yes because I do see change in him. And basically, she wants to see how they will grow, but she really needs time to process everything. Justin asks, well, what does that yes mean? And I have the same question. She says it meant yes to time. I said, to wasting more of his time? Is that what we're talking about? Because that's what I feel like we're talking about. She says she thinks that they can restart, but she wants to acknowledge the bad times because, you know, she doesn't want that to creep in. And I said, well, Alexis, that's not restarting. If you're going to revisit the past, that's not restarting. When I used to restart my Nintendo back in the day, I was hoping it didn't remember the past when it was all staticky and it would show clear the next time I dropped it in the game. That's not a restart, honey. That's not a restart. She says that she has really given everything, so she really doesn't like to hear him say that quitting is his biggest fear. Well, child, you can't control what his biggest fear is, okay? Justin says that she almost makes him feel like it's a privilege that she chose him, and I 1000% agree. She definitely sort of like Stasha of I'm the catch. You definitely need to say yes to me, okay? But she wants to talk about it now. And Justin is like, we'll talk about it later. Of course, this does not make her happy. And I'm just like, y'all argue. Y'all not even 30 minutes out from the decision and y'all already having this type of argument. Like, we knew y'all should have said no. It's because y'all should have said no. Okay. So Justin asks how she's feeling right now. She says that she doesn't change like the wind, and she wouldn't have typed up this letter and everything if she really didn't mean it. And I'm like, girl, answer the question. Answer the question. The man asks how you are feeling right now. And then he asks, you know, does it change her answer that she gave? And she says, no, it doesn't change my answer, while having the stinkest look on her face. And I was like, girl, what you saying and your body language just don't match up, okay? But at this point, Justin, I don't feel sorry for you. You get what you get at this point. I feel like Alexis has shown her true colors enough that you are not getting in this blindsided and you know exactly what is going on. That's how I feel. So it's now one day after decision day. The couples meet up to know what everybody says, of course. We then see Ben and Morgan for the first time in forever. Ben lets us know that they did see each other at the gym. He says they threw up peace signs to each other and kept it moving as they should, okay? I probably would have just walked past her like I ain't never seen her in my life, but I'm a little bit petty like that sometimes. All the couples shared their decisions, and of course, Alexis is the one that recognized Kristen is not wearing her ring, so it's obvious. Kristen continues to look completely desperate in this moment, saying that she's leaving the door cracked in case Mitch, you know, wants to be a husband. He's already said no. You've already said no. Let's move on. Alexis asks Mitch where he is, and he says, you know, that, you know, just in the here and now is where he wants to live, and hopefully they can really be friends and on good terms. No, that's what Kristen says. Mitch says, you know, we can kind of leave things open for friends, but romantically, he's pretty much done. And Mitch is rolling his eyes because all the couples really have something to say and they really are chiming in. And again, I'm on Mitch's side. I don't blame him. Like, I'm fed up with y'all. I've said no. I don't really got to hang out with y'all like that no more because the show is over pretty much at this point. So I don't give a goddamn how y'all feel about me and how y'all view me at this point. And again, it's not like he said yes and then said all these not so nice things to her. He has said no, and I think he really eloquently stated why he said no to her. Like, this was one moment where he used his words properly and did not completely crush her feelings or emotions, and kind of really explained himself as to why he did not want to stay married. Lindy says that Mitch is really talking just to hear his own voice at this point. I said, oh, so sort of like you, because what you're saying right now is pointless as well. Like, girl. Alexis says that, Justin has asked her a lot since their argument if she regrets her yes. And she tells the other couples that she is still processing this. And Alexis, girl, stop ripping the Band-Aid off slow and just rip the damn Band-Aid off and tell this man you do not want to be married to him no more. Alexis says they really went back to where they were 5 weeks ago, and it's like, they were supposed to be starting everything over, and that's really why it just affected her so much. And then here comes fake ass Miguel acting like he's been a marriage pro. Lindy is chiming in as if she is wife of the year, trying to give advice, y'all, and I just don't understand why they think they have this, marriage thing down packed so well that they can then pour into other couples. I don't know where Lindy and Miguel just has this figment of imagination that they're the perfect married couple, child. So then production asks, Justin and Alexis basically where they are. Justin says that he hopes they figure it out. And at this moment, this girl looks into this camera and says she is done. I said, child, so we didn't even go 24 hours from you saying yes and pouring out your heart in this letter to this man to now you're done. And you just gonna let him know you're done in this very moment when you're talking to production. This is some BS, child. Justin, do you got some sisters that can come push up, run up on Alexis, something? Because ain't no way. You can do this to my brother. Ain't no way. So now it is 2 days after decision day. All the couples are moving out of their shared apartments. Kristen says, Luna ain't here to pack up because, child, she's stressed about the move. Kristen said that tells Mitch that she was shocked by Mitch basically saying he didn't want to be friends. And he said, basically, I kind of came on here to be married. And again, y'all, I'm just agreeing with Mitch this whole episode. I don't blame him. We don't necessarily have to be friends. 2 months ago, we did not know each other. We can just go back to acting like we don't know each other after we get this divorce. And then here comes Kristen saying, it sounds silly that they've just been through so much and they just wouldn't be open that if they're, if their paths crossed again, that, they would just kind of be open to that. Kristen, this man said he's done. He's done. Listen to the words that are coming out of his mouth. He says he's done. So she says, based on that, she thinks that they should just completely close the door. And I said, well, I thought both of y'all saying no on decision day did completely close the door. Why do you still want this man if he's made it clear at this point that he doesn't want you, Kristen? Why? So we then see Justin is looking through their wedding photo album and basically pouring salt on his wound. He wished that she would have just been honest when they made their decision. And Alexis says her decision to then say no that next day was really just spur of the moment. So at this point, I was like, is she about to backpedal and say yes? Because please don't. Just leave well enough alone. So she then tells him sorry for disrespecting him and blindsiding him. And she says she did come in here looking for love, and she realized now she has a lot of work to do on herself. She says that this morning she woke up, mortified and disappointed in herself. And then when she said that, I said, so basically you're now apologizing to this man because it made you personally feel bad, but not that it hurt his feelings. Like, that's the vibe that I was getting of, oh, it caused me such despair and agony. And I was mortified that because I felt so bad, I definitely had to apologize. So if you didn't feel bad about what you did, basically you're telling us that the apology would not have happened. That's what I got from it, girl. I don't know. He says that basically she is all talk. She wants to be married, but not to him. Justin, I disagree. I don't think she wants to be married at all. Lindy and Miguel packed up, and again, I don't care. I'm just happy that I really only have 2 more episodes that I have to hear Lindy's annoying voice and hear her call Miguel for, you know, just 2 more episodes, and then we're done with this season forever, y'all. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Did all the decisions come out the way you predicted they would come out? How do y'all think things are going to fare when it comes to the reunion next week? I think out of all the couples, Stasha and Nate may be the one that might still be together. I feel like Lindy probably flipped out shortly after, and Miguel was like, yep, I am completely done. Or, you know, they'll pull a Noy and Steve where, you know, everything was good for a little bit, and then on social media it's going to come out that they're no longer together. I don't know. But at this point, we are what, two for 5 since, you know, Alexis and Justin said yes and then changed their mind. Kristen and Mitch, and of course Ben and Morgan. So we have those 3. So I mean, this wasn't good odds, Married at First Sight, but is this really any different than any other season? I don't know. Anyway, y'all, I am super tired. I'm going to go to bed now, but please leave your comments below and we will chat about this decision day, and we'll be back for, I guess, the 2 additional reunions, or depending on how much they give us, maybe making that all one video. I'll make the call next week and we'll see. Until then, catch y'all on the next one. Peace.